So, if you're thinking about launching an online casino or a sportsbook, you've definitely heard the buzz around the Anjouan gaming license. It's being talked about everywhere as the new go-to option, especially with all the recent changes happening in Curaçao. In this explainer, we're going to break it all down for you, what it is, what it really costs, and the critical hurdles you absolutely need to know about before you jump in.
So let's get right to it. The big question on everyone's mind, is this really the fastest and cheapest way to get your iGaming business up and running? I mean, that's the promise, right? And for a startup, that sounds amazing. But as we're about to find out, the answer isn't a simple yes or no. Not even close.
You know, the Anjouan license is a classic double-edged sword. On one side, you've got this incredible speed and low cost that can get a new brand launch in just a few weeks. But on the other side, there are some pretty significant operational challenges that can totally trip you up if you're not prepared. So let's start with the shiny side first.
Okay, so there's a really good reason Anjouan is getting all this attention, especially from new companies and crypto-focused platforms. It's practically built for speed and being smart with your cash. Let's break down the three massive advantages that make it so incredibly compelling.
The first big number to remember? Zero. A big, beautiful zero. Anjouan offers zero tax on your gross gaming revenue, or GGR. And on top of that, there's no corporate income tax and no VAT. For a startup, that is huge. It means you can pour every possible dollar right back into growing the business.
Next up, the timeline. And I mean, this is fast. We're talking about an application process that can be done in as little as 2 to 4 weeks, assuming you've got all your ducks in a row. Now, compare that to other jurisdictions where you could be waiting 6 months, maybe even longer, and you can see why this is a total game changer for entrepreneurs who need to get to market like yesterday.
And here it is, the number that catches everyone's eye. The annual license fee is right around 17,000 euros. This super low entry fee is incredibly attractive. But, and trust me, this is a huge but, this is not the total cost of running your operation. It's just the beginning. We'll get to the real cost in a minute.
So, to wrap up why it's so appealing, it's really the sheer versatility. One single license covers the whole shebang. Casino games, sports betting, poker, you name it. It works whether you're a B2C operator dealing directly with players or a B2B provider selling games or platforms. It's totally crypto-friendly, which is a must-have these days, and it's being seen as a much more streamlined option than the new, stricter Curaçao regime.
Okay, so you're sold on the benefits. You're probably wondering, how do I actually get one? Well, the good news is the process is refreshingly straightforward. It's broken down into a nice, clear 4-stage roadmap.
First things first, you need a legal company. What's interesting is you don't actually have to set it up in Anjouan. A lot of operators use companies from places like Belize or Costa Rica to get better banking options. Second, you have to gather and submit a mountain of paperwork for due diligence. Third, the regulator, ALSI, goes over everything with a fine-tooth comb. And finally, if you pass all the checks and pay your fees, boom, you're officially licensed.
All right, let's zoom in on step 2 for a second, because honestly, this is the make or break stage. This is where most applications stumble or just fail completely. Getting the documentation exactly right isn't just important, it is everything. And trust me, the requirements are totally non-negotiable.
And this slide really shows you what I'm talking about. The level of detail they need is intense. For every single key person involved, we're talking shareholders, directors, the ultimate owners, you need certified passports, a squeaky clean police record, and, get this, original reference letters from both a banker and a lawyer proving you've had a relationship for at least 2 years. On the business side, your policies for things like anti-money laundering, KYC, and responsible gaming have got to be rock solid. They really need to see you're taking compliance seriously from day one.
All right, we've seen the dream. Now it's time for a little reality check. This is the part of the explainer that separates the operators who succeed from the ones who hit a massive wall 6 months down the line. Let's talk about the hidden hurdles.
This right here, this is the single biggest challenge you're going to face, pulled directly from what people in the industry are saying. While the license itself is perfectly legitimate, its reputation is, well, let's just say it's still growing. And what that means is that many traditional banks and major payment service providers might just refuse to work with you. You can have a license, a platform, and games, but if you can't process payments, you don't have a business, period.
So how do you solve that massive payment problem? Well, this is where we get to the true cost. That 17,000 euro fee is just the starting line. To get access to reliable banking, most operators have to set up a second company, a payment agent, in a more reputable bank-friendly place like Cyprus or Estonia.
So when you add the cost of that second company, plus corporate services and compliance fees, your realistic annual budget suddenly balloons to somewhere between 40 and 50,000 euros. That is the real number you need to be planning for.
And beyond the costs, there are some really strict operational rules. You are required to geo-block a long list of prohibited countries, including major markets like the US, the UK, and France. No exceptions. You absolutely cannot sublicense your license to other people. Some of the biggest game providers out there might be a little hesitant to partner with you, which could limit your game library. And finally, your servers and player data have to be physically located in Anjouan, or at least mirrored there, which is a key technical requirement you can't ignore.
So, we've weighed the incredible pros against some very real cons. This brings us to the final and most important question. Based on your specific business model, is an Anjouan license actually the right strategic choice for you?
This slide lays it all out pretty clearly. Anjouan is absolutely ideal for startups, especially crypto casinos that need to move fast and manage their budget carefully. If you needed to be on the market yesterday, it's a fantastic option. However, it's very risky if your business plan relies on getting Tier 1 banking or big-name B2B partnerships. It's also a bad idea if you aren't prepared for the cost and hassle of setting up that separate payment agent company. And obviously, if your target customers are on that prohibited list, it's a complete non-starter.
So here's the key takeaway. Anjouan is not a simple plug-and-play solution. You should think of it as a launchpad. It offers incredible speed and a low initial cost to get you off the ground, but it absolutely demands a smart pilot who can navigate the very real challenges of payments, partnerships, and compliance once you're in orbit.
We've covered the benefits, the process, the hidden costs, and all the critical pitfalls. You now have the full roadmap to make an informed decision. So the only question left is, for your specific venture, is Anjouan the right launchpad?